You don't need more time. What you do need is to stop being a boob about how you spend your time. Because there are a lot of things that you are spending time on that you don't need to be spending time on, that you don't even realize that you don't need to be spending time on, but you're insisting on spending time on those things for some underlying subconscious reasons that are not serving you. And so today we're going to uncover some of that stuff. We're going to have some shifts in our thinking, and we are going to create more time and less stress in your life in the process. If you're new to me, I am so glad that you are here. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can stay connected. The subscribe button is somewhere down there. I don't know which side, depending on how this shows up on there, but it's there. You'll be able to see it. It's in red. My name is Kristina, and I'm a registered clinical therapist, a master coach, a researcher, a speaker, and the creator of the Breakthrough Coaching Program. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I work to help heart-centered go-getter men and women break through worry, anxiety, and self-doubt so that they can get out of their heads, get into their lives, and have the lives they want and the lives they deserve. And today we're going to talk about reducing stress and opening up more time. And like I said at the beginning, you don't need more time. You actually don't need more time. You need to be creating more time. And some people think, I would wish there was just more than 24 hours in a day. And we all wish there was more than 24 hours in a day, but there's not. And you actually don't need actual more hours in the day. What you do need to do is be more intentional and smarter about the hours that you do have, because you can't get any more. And so we're going to talk about 4 Ds that you can start doing right now that are going to create more time and less stress in your life. And the first D is to dump. To look at the things in your life that you are doing, that you have committed to, that you have taken on, that you don't need to be doing, that you can dump, that you can get rid of. A couple years ago, I was having a conversation with a client who was sitting in my office and talking to me about how stressed out he was because he had taken on learning how to play the guitar a few months back. And so he had bought a guitar and he was taking lessons, and then he'd kind of, not re-enrolled for this next set of lessons, but he still wanted to play guitar, but he had other things going on, but he noticed himself just sort of avoiding picking up his guitar. And so it would sit in the corner of his room, and he actually intentionally put it out in his living room as a way to try and motivate himself to pick it up and play it. But what he found was having that guitar sitting out in the living room was just stressing him out and making him feel really guilty. Every time he passed it, it would be emotionally taxing on him, even just a little bit, that little twinge of guilt, that little bit of stress of I should be doing this, I should be picking it up, but I'm not. And so then feeling guilty and bad about it. And so I asked him, and let's say his name was Stefan, and I was like, Stefan, why did you start playing guitar in the first place? Why did you decide that you wanted to learn how to play the guitar? And he's like, oh, well, it's because I've always wanted to play the guitar and because I thought it'd be really cool. And I was like, was it because that it was something just to do for fun? Are you wanting to become a professional guitarist or join a rock band or something? He's like, no, I just want to do it for fun. And so then I said to him, is it still fun? And he's like, no, it feels like such a burden. It feels stressful. And I was like, okay, so this thing that you took on for the sole purpose of pleasure, enjoyment, and fun, and it's no longer fulfilling any of those things, dump it. Get it out of there. Donate it, sell it, get the guitar out. It's no longer serving the sole purpose that it's supposed to be serving in your life. And so enough with the unnecessary guilt and stress and obligation about it all and the time and energy that you're spending thinking about it. Get it out of there. And he was like, oh, I never thought about that. And so I want to ask you, is there something in your life that's causing you stress, something that you've taken on, something that you've committed to for the sole purpose of fun, pleasure, and enjoyment, and it's no longer serving that purpose, but you're feeling guilty about it, that you're feeling bad about it, you're thinking about it, you're stressing about it. And I want to ask you what that thing is. Let me know in the comment section below. And I want to, not that you need my permission, but if you're waiting for it, if you're waiting for permission, dump it. Get rid of it. Get it out of there. And also ask yourself, what other things in your life are you doing that you don't need to be doing? That you've taken on that you think you need to do, but when you actually take a step back and ask yourself, you're like, I actually don't need to be doing this. This isn't necessary. This isn't serving an important purpose in my life. Are you making too many plans? Are you taking too much on? And maybe they are things that you want to be doing. Maybe you are saying yes too often, but it's honestly things that you want to be doing. But then you're filling up your calendar, you're looking at your calendar at the beginning of the week, and you're completely stressed out and you're overwhelmed because every single second has been booked. And you're like, holy crap, how am I going to get through this? I just need to get through my week, or I just need to get through the day. And then you notice yourself just trying to get through. You're taking so much on and you're so stressed out, you're just trying to get through. And I want to ask you if that's the way that you want to be living. If you want to be living a life of just getting through, is that what life is for? Is to just get through? Get through where? Get through to when? If you do this, then you've made a habit of doing this, taking stuff on, saying yes, not allowing yourself to say no. It's a habit. And the only way to stop that from happening is to stop doing it, taking an honest look, even if it's something that you want to do. Is this something that's in my best interest? Is this something that's good for me? What is going to be the cost if I say yes to this? Right? What am I going to have to give? What am I going to have to expend in order to fulfill all of this stuff? To honestly looking at it. And even more so than that, doing things, those of you who do things that you don't want to be doing, that are not serving a good purpose, they're actually not good for you, but you're saying yes to because you don't want to feel guilty, you don't want to feel like a bad person, but you're saying yes to shiz you hate. Stop saying yes to shiz you hate because you don't want to feel guilty or bad, or you think that people are going to think you're a bad person if you don't do everything that they want all the time. And first of all, it's not your job to make other people happy. And second of all, it's not good for you, and it's not okay. And if you have troubles with saying no, I have a free download for you. It's called 25 Ways to Say No, and it's a really good one, and it's going to help you get started on starting to set some healthy boundaries in your life. If you find yourself just saying yes, not wanting to say yes, or regretting saying yes, or saying yes for the wrong reasons, then make sure you grab that download. It's going to be in the description of this video right below. And then our next D, that's going to give you more time and less stress, is to delegate. And for my perfectionists and overfunctioners who just totally bristled and got anxious at the idea of having somebody else do something that you could do because you don't know if they're going to do it up to your standard or as good as you could or as perfect as you could, and you just don't know if you want to release some of that control, I want to invite you to take a little bit of a step back and ask yourself, what is it costing me? What is it costing me insisting on doing everything myself because I'm scared that somebody else is not going to do it as good as I could, or to the same level as I could, or the same standard as I could? I want to ask you what it's costing you. If you're super stressed out and overwhelmed because you're taking everything on and you're doing everything yourself, when you could be having somebody else help you out with it, when you could be asking for help, that's on you. If you're not willing to ask for help, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be paid help, it could be asking a friend or a family member to help you out. But if it is, you're in a position where you can pay for some help, getting someone to help you with the laundry, to clean your house, to cook your meals, to mow the lawn, to wash the car, whatever it is. If you are taking everything on and there's things that you don't need to be doing, and you're stressed out and overwhelmed, then that is on you. And so letting yourself delegate, letting yourself ask for help, paid help, or just help from the community around you. What could you be getting help with? Because some of us are trying to be superheroes, are trying to be superwomen or supermen or supermoms or super dads and take it all on and do it all. And at the end of the day, you don't get a medal for doing it all and then being a stressed out, overwhelmed, angry, resentful wreck. You don't get a medal for it. And here's the thing, the other part is that no one actually cares. We think that we need to do all this stuff so that people are going to think we're these amazing human beings, but they don't actually really care. And a lot of the people in your life would rather you didn't. Because when you're running around trying to do it all and be it all and take care of it all and overfunction and make it all happen, there's a cost to it. You are stressed out, you are overwhelmed, you are exhausted, you are oftentimes angry and resentful because you feel trapped and overwhelmed. And you're frustrated because you feel like you have to do it all, which you don't. That's a self-imposed thing. And the people in your life would rather you do less and be happier. They would rather be around a human being who does a moderate amount and is happy and at peace and lovely to be around than a human being who does it all, who accomplishes it all, who takes care of it all, and then is a grumpy, resentful, angry, overwhelmed, stressed out wreck to be around. So letting ourselves delegate, this is a tough one, especially for those of us who are perfectionists and overfunctioners, like I said, because a lot of times we feel like we get our self-worth from doing it all, from being the super women, the supermen, the super moms, the super dads. We feel like we get a lot of our self-worth from that, but what is the cost? Is getting that validation. I don't know who we're getting that validation from. Maybe like from the PTA or from the, the place where you're volunteering, where you're doing all of the volunteering and all the different things that you've got your hands in and all the different things you're committing to. Yeah, you get probably like a good job and like we appreciate you and we can always count on Julia to step up and to be the first one to volunteer, to take it on and to make it happen. Okay, so maybe you get that, but what is it costing you? How are you showing up in the rest of your life when you are trying to take everything on? How are you showing up in the rest of life? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you showing up for the people that are closest to you in your life, the people that do actually need the best from you? So letting ourselves delegate. No one needs to be a superhero, and no one actually really cares if we are. The next thing, and this one is kind of a fun one. And the next D that's going to reduce stress and create more time is to figure out how to delight in things. Because there are some things in our lives that we cannot dump, that we cannot delegate. So figuring out a way, those things that we don't love, that kind of stress us out, that, we'd rather not do, but we do need to do. There's a difference between things we think we need to do and things we actually need to do. And so really getting clear on that. But the things that you need to do, how do you find a way to delight in it? If it's a commute to work that you really hate, putting on a podcast, listening to an audiobook, joining a carpool so you have someone there to chat with, or if you'd rather have that quiet time to yourself in the morning and after work, dumping, maybe it's back to dumping that carpool so you can delight more in your commute to work. If it's a job that you really don't like, but you can't leave the job at this point, you're just not able to for whatever reason, how can you delight in it? Is there a way that you can spend your lunchtime that you would enjoy? Going and sitting somewhere really pleasant with someone, with a coworker or with a friend, meeting a friend for lunch on a regular basis and having that to look forward to, going somewhere nicer for lunch. What is it throughout your day, taking little breaks to get outside, like a 15-minute break, when you get your little 15-minute break or whatever, going for a nice walk, again, maybe sticking on a podcast or an audiobook. How can you delight in the things? If it is that you can't, in your place right now financially where you can afford to hire out cleaning your house or doing your laundry or doing the dishes or doing the yard work, to stick on a podcast, stick on an audiobook. Find a way to delight in it. Call someone on the phone. I oftentimes do that. I will call my mom when I'm doing the dishes because it's a good time that I can chat with her. Usually my husband's putting the kids to bed and I'm doing the dishes, so I have this kind of quiet time. And I found actually that I really like doing the dishes because a lot of the times I would rather do the dishes than kind of wrestle 3 small children as they get ready for bed and brush their teeth and get their pajamas on. I delight in doing the dishes and having a chat with my mom. So finding those things, what is something, let us know in the comment section below, what is something that you dread or that you don't like or that's not your favorite thing to do, but you can't not do it, that you need to be doing it, and what's one way that you are going to try delighting in it? What's one thing that you're going to do to work on delighting in it? to bring more pleasure to it. And then the last one, which kind of does overlap a bit with our delighting in, and that is to double task. Now there is, a lot of times people talk about multitasking, and maybe you've heard already, but the whole multitasking thing has been totally debunked, that multitasking actually makes you more ineffective than doing things in sequence, one at a time. Trying to do a bunch of things that require your brain power at the same time is actually not possible because our brain can only focus on one intentional thing at a time. But what you can do is you can double task. So you can do one mindless thing with one thing that does require some brain power. So what that means is if working out is something that you don't really love to do, but if you could work out and put on a really good audiobook or like a good podcast. I remember a few years ago, that podcast Serial, Seriel. Have you listened to it? Most people have listened to it, but I remember when it came out. And I would have a rule for myself that I'm only allowed to listen to the Serial podcast when I'm running. This was the first one. I heard the second one wasn't as great. I haven't listened to the second one yet, but I would had a rule. So I would get excited about going out for a run. I'm like, when can I get out for my run today? Because then I get to listen to Serial. And it was this way of double tasking, doing something I actually like running, but there's sometimes when I don't feel like it, but if I have something else that I'm doing with it, then it makes it so much more enjoyable. So figuring out how to double task, a lot of times too, when I go out for a run, I'll call a friend or I'll call my mom or I'll call my sister and have a good catch up on the phone while I'm running. So figuring out how to double task on things, if it's, chores around the house or a commute to work, or what is it? What is it something that you don't love doing that kind of stresses you out, and how can you double task it with something else that doesn't require your brain power? So running doesn't require brain power, but having a conversation does. So I can do that at the same time. One requires focus and intention, and the other thing is more automatic. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about double tasking. If you haven't grabbed that free download yet, the 25 ways to say no, make sure you grab that now. And also let me know in the comment section below, which one of these are you going to start doing right away? Which change, which of the D? Are you going to dump? Are you going to delegate? Are you going to delight in? Are you going to double task? Which one of these are you going to start with? Start small, make it doable. It's not go big or go home. It's like start moderate and make it doable. Let me know in the comment section below. Come and join my Facebook group, goodformegroup.com. Like the video, share it out. If you think this would be helpful for other people to hear, people in your life who are stressed out and overwhelmed, who need to hear this stuff, share it with them. Let me know in the comments if you do share it, because I would like to thank you for that, because that means so much to me. Did I miss anything? You'll let me know if I missed anything. Until next time, take good care.